Hello, headsets. Frank here, review time, and today we are looking at Sprint Vector, the new multiplayer racer from Servios. Their first title, raw data, won numerous awards, and their recent offering feels like it's headed down the same path. Now, I have had plenty of time to spend with this title and its new fluid locomotion system, and I gotta say, it's shaping up to be one of my favorite new VR games. But is it for you? Well, I assume that's what you're here to find out. Now, before we get started, I did receive a key for this one, but my opinion cannot be purchased. And finally, if you want to stay in the loop on the latest and greatest in VR, make sure to subscribe. Now, on to the review.
Ladies and gentlemen, beasts and monsters, the moment you have all been waiting for is finally upon us. Welcome, one and all, to the Sprint Vector Championship Intergalactic.
First up, story. Little backstory for you. Now, this game has been playable in arcade format for a while, and the first time I saw it was last year at PAX East. It was quite the sight to see two people flailing their arms about, and the booth was always packed with a line of players and a crowd of onlookers. Now, with the game in final form, I think they did a wonderful job packaging everything together into what feels like much more than just an arcade experience. As one of 8 willing prisoners, you now have the chance to race against the finest in the galaxy. But do you have what it takes to be the best? Visuals. Now, I played this on PS4 Pro and was actually surprised at how close the port resembles the PC version. It's definitely not as smooth and the colors are a bit darker, but overall, they did a wonderful job. The art style is a bit cel-shaded and cartoony, which creates a very wacky racer's vibe that I personally love. The tearing on PlayStation VR is noticeable, but luckily the speedy and immersive gameplay make it a non-issue. It really only looks rough when you're standing still. There is a pro patch, and I have yet to try it on the original PS4, but I will soon. Also, your hands look great. Audio. The sound design team did a top-notch job on this one. Not only is music amazing, but the environmental sounds excite the senses and make you want to keep pushing forward. Announcers chime in, one of the 9 power-ups whiz past, and the chatter of other players before and after matches, well, panting, keeps you sucked into this future sport. Gameplay. Regardless of what platform you're playing, it takes a little practice to get comfortable with the controls, but once you've mastered the advanced techniques, you'll find one of the smoothest locomotion systems in VR. Games like Jet Set Radio pop to mind when I'm gracefully gliding across the finishing line, and thinking about this one like rollerblading is a pretty good strategy. Also, it does require motion controllers. Your main movement consists of swaying your arms back and forth, separately or in tandem, while pulling and releasing the triggers to move yourself along a hazard-filled racetrack. The skill comes from getting up to speed, keeping a steady rhythm, and using skills like jumping, flying, climbing, and drifting to move ahead of the competition. Like I said, it takes time to master controls, but luckily this baby is packed with single-player content that can help you train for the main event. Take on one of the 9 challenge courses, each with their own specific challenges, or try shooting for the top spot on one of the 12 different racetracks. You can also customize the way you play, making it easier for solo players looking for a more relaxed stroll along the course. Regardless, the end goal of all this is to take on a community in up to 8-player online races. Now, if you're on PC, this will support crossplay between Vive and Rift, but sadly there is no crossplay right now on PSVR. Also, the PlayStation VR version offers a left and right click turn on the X and O button, and also a U-turn option on the square button. The races are extremely engaging, highly competitive, and very addicting. The tracks are nicely varied, and learning how to properly run, fly, and climb will help you succeed. But even when you think victory is in sight, don't forget a well-timed rocket or slowdown power-up from one of your opponents can leave you in the dust. The tracks are also filled with hazards, but most can either be jumped over or shot with your hand blasters. Finally, and possibly one of my favorite parts, the main lobby is a giant skate park you can use to practice your skills. And when waiting on a match, you can show off in front of all the other queued races. Motion sickness and play area. Now, I think if you're easily susceptible to motion sickness, you may have some issues with this one, but they really did an amazing job making it all feel comfortable when you're at the helm. The game runs smooth regardless of the platform, and with so much going on and a huge focus on your arms, you might get so into it that it doesn't matter. Just be careful not to get lightheaded. This is a very active game. There are also comfort options and blinders for those of you that rely on them. Regarding play area, now theoretically you can play this one stand in one place, but it's really easy to get into it and start moving. If you're on PSVR, you want to make sure your full body is in view of the camera, with your arms stretched out above and below you. I also would make sure that you can take a step or two in any direction, just in case you move around a bit. There are systems in place to make sure you face the right direction, both arrows and the darkening effect for when you turn beyond hand tracking. Also, I didn't mention this earlier, but tracking is phenomenal on this title. Moving around your virtual hands and arms makes you feel like they're the real thing. Verdict. Finally, the moment you have all been waiting for, and for the first time ever, I'll be using a ranking system. Now, I can't comment on PlayStation VR servers because, as of writing this review, there was absolutely nobody online, but everything in the single player works great. The challenges are fun, the races are exciting, and the fluid locomotion brings the immersion to another level, and it's quite the workout. I did run into a little stuttering, but nothing to hurt the gameplay, so I'm gonna give this one an A-. If you're looking for a truly next level VR racing experience, Sprint Vector will not disappoint.
Win, lose, as long as we get the ratings. Sprint Vector!
Now, I am very excited to start some community game nights for this one, so make sure you add me on PSN or Steam. And if you're on PlayStation, make sure to join PSVR Frank and the Headsets community so you can meet other players that you can play with as well. Now, what'd you think? Are you gonna grab it? Are you on the fence, or are you just gonna say forget about it? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for coming through. Hope you enjoyed the review. And as always, if you're new to this channel and you want to stay up to date on everything PlayStation VR and you don't mind this ugly mug, friggin' subscribe. I mean, come on. Smooches.